right. Hello, everybody. So happy to see a lot of folks that I know very well and some new faces. Stacy and I will go over the back agent system together. So I'm going to share my screen and then we'll get going. Can we share it, Jamie? Yep. Thank you. Okay. All right, so I will encourage you guys to log into your back agent. For those that have that capability, it will really help you. If you kind of follow what we're doing, right, Stace? Yep. All right, excellent. And today we're actually recording this session. We will upload it in our YouTube channel that Jamie mentioned earlier. If you ever wonder how the hell do I start a transaction? Well, we have all that going in our YouTube channel, which is Dlex Realty. All right, so once you log in, this is exactly what you're going to see with a couple exceptions. And one big one is on the upper right corner. You're going to see your name and your face. And if you have not uploaded your picture, I'm going to quickly show you how to do that first. So just locate your name on the upper right corner, click on it, and then you will arrive in your page practically. This page contains all the information about you. The first thing you do to upload photo is simply click on upload photo. Then you will be able to select a photo of your choice and upload it in there. Now, if there are any changes that you need to add in here, for instance, maybe you moved and your address changed, or maybe you changed your email address, you quickly go to contact and then you click on your contact info in order to do that. Account will show a summary of the plan you're on. And if you, for instance, do not remember what plan you're on and what fees you pay, you quickly can click on paperwork, which is right in here, and you can see your independent contractor's agreement. And further, you will also see your 1099 for last year. Stacy and Lisa worked so hard to upload those. So those were not just mailed to all of you guys, those are uploaded under your profile as well. All right, Stace, what else is here? Oh, if you click on activity, you could look up your transaction history, which will show your production history for the year you would like to look into. And you could also specify per month as well. Okay. I'll go back to the start page. Again, this is what you're going to see when you log in. On the very top here, you will see different banners. They kind of go in order, just highlighting some of our preferred, vendors here, Dlex, like Old Republic Home Protection, for instance, but also a lot of our classes, coaching calls that we have in place, Make Agents More Money. That happens every first Tuesday of the month. It's a fantastic, fantastic meeting. Straight Talk with the Brokers. That's one of the best we have. That is going to be every third Thursday of the month. Of course, Jamie's workshop. Oh my God, I love her workshop. She can help you so much, especially with your website and anything. She's amazing. All right. Fairway, our new lender partner, is featured right now, and so forth. When you look onto the right-hand side, you will see the calendar. You could expand it by clicking on View Calendar. And then this calendar will track down all of your transaction, but also will highlight current events that are happening at Dlex Realty. Like, for instance, Jamie's workshop Wednesdays right here. That's tomorrow, or today's new agent orientation. Whatever you enter in your transactions as far as dates will be highlighted here, reminding you, hey, there's a scheduled close of escrow coming up. And of course, you could add additional events. It kind of helps you to stay on task and on track with everything going on. All right, Stace, anything I've missed here? Oh, how do we communicate with one another, right? All these lovely posts. So this is not just for us to remind you and highlight events that are happening, but also for you guys. You can go ahead and add a post yourself. See, someone's looking to hold an open house in Gilbert. All you do is click on add a post, then select accordingly, and you get to add that post on the blend. This is what we call the blend. And if you want that post to be blasted to all of our associates here at Dlex Realty, just reach out to one of us and we're happy to email blast it on your behalf. Okay, that's that. Stacy, where shall we go next?
I guess we should go to listings.
To listings. Okay, we're going to skip transactions because that's really the big deal today, and we're going to do it here in a second, starting a transaction from listing through contract through close of escrow. But right now, let's click on listings. This simply just shows the list of listings within Deluxe Realty. If you guys would like to get more fresh data, we advise you to go to Armless, click on menu, and then click on company listings, just because Back Agent is a third-party website. Therefore, a lot of those may not be as fresh and updated as they are on MLS. The next tab will be people. Under that, you can find anybody. Let's say you want to figure out what's going on with your check and you need to call Stacy. Just type her name and she'll pop up for you. Any single one of us, regardless if it's a member of the staff or an agent, will be in this system. So all you need to do is look that person up under this people tab. You could look by last or first name. The office tab, it's a tab you guys will visit quite often. Reason being is there are a lot of documents uploaded in here. Some are mandatory, some are here just for your, just to assist you and for your convenience. So once you click on office, right underneath it, click on once you click on office, then click on documents. And then you're going to see this whole list of different, not just forms, but tools to help you. There's business card designs, there are logos, there's a Deluxe Realty letterhead if you need it. We have information about FERPTA. Of course, very important, we have our W-9 for 2022. I know that's something you need to share with co-brokers often. And then, of course, we have a list of our transaction coordinators if you're looking for one. Everything is labeled. For instance, agent forms will contain any forms that you may need, such as maybe the commission discount form. Maybe you're contributing a few dollars to your buyer's closing costs. There will be all sorts of helpful information like the HUD home information, the FHA information, some more FERPTA information, late file submission explanation, the lead-based paint pamphlet. We have referral agreements in here. So anything that could assist you and help you. Okay. Client forms, this is where you will arrive quite often. Reason being is the affiliated businesses disclosure is here, and that form is required with any sale transaction, regardless if it's buyer or seller. You need to have your client sign this form. It is solely for the client to sign, and it's only showing disclosing information of who we are affiliated with, which, by the way, I will update today, and I will add Fairway Mortgage on it. All right, I'm going to go back. Any questions so far? It just to highlight, in the event you have a buyer or a seller that is waiving spuds, you can find those waivers right in here. Those are rather important. Okay, now I'm going to go back. I'm going to move to the marketplace tab. It kind of speaks for itself, like everything in this platform. This one will contain different marketing materials, including the vendor list. So there's a lot of vendors here that you could just go in here and look for somebody that you need, maybe a plumber, maybe it's financial advisor. We often make flyers here. In the event it's last moment or you need something beautiful for your social media. Keep in mind, because the system's linked to Armless, you could auto create a flyer for any home out there. Gosh, I need to find an MLS. Stacy, let's see here. What do we have here?
I wasn't ready for you.
I know, I just didn't even know I'm going to do it step by step. So I'm just going to quickly pull. So you see, if you need to see our company listings, you go to Flex MLS, then menu, then you select company listings, and then you just select a listing. And let's say maybe we'll do this Gilbert listing here. So I would just select the MLS number. I'll go back to my back agent. I will paste that number, and then the system will ask me, hey, do you need a confirmation and authorizations, in other words, to use this listing to create flyers, just because this is not my listing, this is another agent's listing. So I clicked yes, and then back agent will pull all the data from Armless, pictures, text, anything. It's a very nice design. And what's best about it as well is you could change it the way you want to change it. You could name it what you want to name it, Stunning Gilbert Home. You could arrange the pictures in order you want. You could even upload other pictures. You could change your photo, your information. This is a Gilbert house. Maybe I would not want to feature the Scottsdale office when I'm sitting an open house in Gilbert. And once you're done with your design, you could save it in JPEG or PDF, regardless if you want it for print or to use for social media. Okay, and that's that. There are brochures, there are postcards in here as well. And then under the Learn tab, you could see there's a couple of helpful videos, but most of all, once again, you will find our information in case you need to get a hold of one of us and ask questions. Okay, so now, unless I've missed something, Stacy, shall we proceed to starting a transaction?
Sure.
All right, fantastic. So I want you all to click under transactions and then click on active transactions. Active transactions stands for anything that's currently active. Doesn't matter if it's residential, commercial, etc. Filed will be for anything that's closed escrow, maybe a rental that took place, or a successfully terminated contract. Canceled will be for anything that's just canceled or an expired listing. Recent, obviously, anything that was just worked on. And then reports, once again, it leads you to where you could run your own production history. So let's go back to active transactions. And now please look onto the right-hand side, locate the Add a Transaction orange button and click on it. Once you do that, you will see the 4 kinds of transactions, and it will ask you what category of transaction are you creating. A, residential, that would be for anything considered residential, a lease or a residential kind of a home or a townhome, land, anything like that. Apartment, you will only come here if you're a property manager. This is where we upload our property management agreements with landlords. Commercial, anything commercial, lease, sale, land, any of that. And referral only is solely when you have when you're receiving a referral. So you go here to start your referral transaction, and we need to see your referral agreement uploaded. Today we're going to do a residential listing. So click on residential and then see how it gives you the option of sale or lease. We will do a sale today. And once you select the sale option, now you have those 5 modes. These are the modes of the transaction. Now, regardless on which one you click first, you could go back and forth. So if you click on contract and you had to be showing, don't worry, you could just navigate and go back in the transaction once it's created. Start is when you have a client, but really nothing's been signed. Showing is when something's signed, a listing agreement, the buyer broker agreement. This is where you go. It says your client is searching or you're marketing a property. Contract is when the client is under contract or the listing is under contract. Pre-closing, super duper important. This is where you move your transaction in order to process your funding request. As you know, we want to make sure you guys get paid straight from escrow. And then post-closing is where you will arrive after close of escrow had occurred. And at that stage, you solely have to upload the final HUD statement. Now let's click on showing. And this time we will do a seller. We represent a seller because we took a listing. And as some of you already know, because you've done this with us before, this is a practice transaction. So we'll just use the name test. However, in a real life scenario, of course, you have to put your client's name accordingly. If you have worked with that client in the past, the name of that client will pop up here and you could just very easily click it and it will autofill for you. All right. We added our seller's name, and then the next step is to click on where right here, create new transaction. And once I do that, my transaction has been created. Every transaction will look exactly like this. Keep in mind, any orange tab highlighted like this, it really tells you warning information is missing. We like to satisfy those tabs in order. So the first one that needs our attention right now is the property tab. So I'm going to click it in order to set the property. I will need Stacy's help now, maybe an MLS number or an address. If the property is not on MLS, you simply click on enter basic info. If the property is on MLS, then you have the opportunity to add that property by putting in the address or the MLS number.
Ready?
Yes.
6351124.
Oh my God, you're so fast, girl. I can never keep up with you. 635
1124.
1124. Okay. You know, Stacy's so fast. I'm like a little tortoise behind her. All right. This is a lovely place in Scottsdale. So we're going to select it. And then once we've selected it, we're going to click on set property now. Now, if you believe you've made a mistake, you could just quickly change it. But even after you have set the property, you could still go back and edit it. Practically until you submit your transaction for final review, you could change absolutely anything here. All right, so as you could see, I put in the address and now my property tab turned gray because everything looks perfect. The next tab is dates and info, and that's super important, right, Stacy?
Yep.
So you have to answer those questions accordingly. The way you answer will trigger the documents tab to seek different documents. Back in the day, we used to have a checklist. We don't do that anymore. The system creates it for you. As you know, every transaction is so unique and different that having a universal checklist is practically impossible. So right now we're going to start in order again. We have 10 questions to answer. The first is, when did your listing take effect? I'm going to select today's date. Then it's going to ask us where it expires. It's important, again, to answer accordingly to what the documents actually really state, because once you set those dates, they will go on your calendar that we showed you earlier. Now, what type of property is this? Super important. A lot of times agents are like, oh, where is land? Where is land? Well, it's right here, depending if it's residential or commercial. Of course, we started as residential. So now it's going to give us these options. Is it a house? Is it a condo? Is it a multifamily? Is it a mobile home, farm, or land? We're going to select a house today. And then another important one, Stacy, right? Yeah. What is the ownership status of the property? Stacy, why is this so important to be clicked on accordingly?
Well, guys, so this is where you get to pick if it's a new construction. And obviously a new construction checklist is completely different, or a lot different than a conventional resale. You'll need the public report for a new build. You won't have the BINSR. You won't have the SPUDs required. So it's just important that you take your time and answer your questions correctly.
Yeah. And back in the old days, we used to do a lot of short sales. If you select short sale, then all of a sudden the documents tab will ask you for the short sale addendum and other documents that come with that. Today, we're going to do conventional resale. Same with this question. If you answer yes, it was built prior 1978, automatically the documents tab will require the lead-based paint disclosure. We're going to do no now. Same with the pool. If you click yes, the system will recommend the pool advisory. It won't be required. Okay, same with septic system. Often agents will be like, the property doesn't have septic system. Why is the system asking me for the addendum? Well, probably because you clicked yes by mistake.
And we'll show you how you can change that if you did click yes by mistake.
Absolutely, yes. So if you've made a mistake, you can quickly go, you click on the dates and info tab, and then you will go and find it. And for instance, right here, you change, and then you could just change things. Like maybe it was built prior 1978. You could change it right here so quickly and easy. I'm going to go back and put no because I want to upload less documents right now. All right. So based on our answers, we go under the documents tab, and 4 documents are needed. The agency disclosure and election, the listing agreement, which we always recommend, exclusive right to sell. And just remember, guys, as of last February, it's been a whole year, we have a new exclusive right to sell. So please try to use the new form. Don't go back to the old form. And then the affiliated businesses disclosure that I showed you a few minutes ago. And then, of course, the MLS printout signed by the seller. We want to see the copy with private remarks. Now, if you like to use the good old profile sheet, you're more than welcome to do that and upload that in here. Okay, there are a couple ways to upload. You could quickly click on require now and then attach document, and that way you do them one by one. Or you could click on add a document up here on the right corner, and then you could just upload the whole file. What really happens is your signing session, most likely for the listing, was all one PDF that had the agency and the listing agreement and all those documents. So you will upload it regardless, depending on where you have it saved. I happen to have an orientation folder that I'm gonna use. I just need to see where is my orientation folder. Not here.
It's right there on, oh, never mind.
There we go. So I'm gonna grab my documents from my orientation folder, but maybe it's in your downloads. Maybe you could just drag and drop. Every computer works a little different as well. So I'm gonna grab just a couple of documents here. All right. And I'm actually gonna grab one more and see how everything is uploading together. And then you will, what's amazing is you're going to see every page individually opened. And what's great about that is if pages are out of order, you could organize them right here. If you can't see them, just click on them. Of course, you could zoom in and zoom out. So it's a really, really great system. You could flip pages. And even if, let's say you have like only so many pages here and there's another page of that document that was separate, you could combine them right here and create your document. And I just wanted to show you when you do the MLS printout, make sure you use the copy with private remarks. That is the copy that has the commission amount, any private remarks in here, including your contact information. All right, so I'm going to add those 2 pages. I know that's my MLS printout signed by the seller. And then I'm going to click on create document right up here, the blue button. And once I do that, I will look for where my MLS printout title is. If I cannot see it, I can go under search titles, type, and it's going to narrow down for me. So I'm going to select it. And now I have 2 options. Save and add another is highlighted and so big and bold because the system knows there are multiple pages waiting for me to create documents. If I only needed to add the MLS printout, I can click on save document and quit. However, that's not the case. I'm going to go back to the rest. And now I will, if I'm confident this is my entire listing, I can just click on select all. I selected all, but I know this is the agency, so I'm just going to remove the agency. I came back down here. So now I have all 7 pages of the exclusive right to sell. They're all in order. They're all signed. I'm going to click on create document again, and I will place it where it belongs, which is the listing agreement exclusive right to sell. And same way, the rest of the documents, affiliated businesses disclosure. Right here. And then we have that agency. Boom. And we're done. I actually was done, so I should have just quit, but that's okay. If you go back, it's not a problem. You can just click on transaction documents and you go back to your documents. And now you could see that all those have been uploaded. That's why they say on file. If for some reason you believe there's a missing signature, maybe the agency misses the seller's signature, you could just click on where it says on file and then send it for electronic signature to your client. And once your client signs it, then you just re-upload it.
It's pretty cool. It comes right back into your inbox.
Yeah.
On the top, show them on the top.
Mm-hmm.
If you scroll up, you see you have an inbox up here. When your document is signed, it'll show up in your inbox and you can just download it and stick it into your file.
Yeah, and before you upload it, just make sure you remove the old one. It's right here, remove. Okay. You could also reattach documents. Sometimes we make a mistake and we may think there's a missing initial, but it was there, but it was very small and we couldn't see it. That happens a lot. And for some reason, because the document shows denied, you cannot process your funding request, and you could just reattach it And that way it will put it back on file and it will clear you to go forward with your submission of funding request. All right, so that's done. We just got a contract and now we're going to move our transaction to our contract stage. So when you click on this mode here, contract mode, see you have 3 tabs that need information from you guys: contacts, dates and info, and we need some more documents. We like to do this in order. We're going to go to contacts. At this stage, it needs the buyer's information and the buyer's agent information. We highly recommend you guys scroll down and add the title agent as well, just because when you get to the final moments of the transaction, it may get chaotic, and it's really at this stage will kind of help you later on, which might as well just do it now. Stacy likes to use Shannon Pell's. I like her too. All right, and then I'm going to create I think I have a test buyer already in here. Oh, I don't. Okay. And then I'm going to add an agent. I'm going to add Stacy. She's my partner in crime. And yes, and now what's interesting, guys, because I added Stacy, back agent knows that Stacy is part of D-Lakes Realty. And right away, my documents tab went up from 7 documents to 8, because now it's going to ask me for the dual agency document, which is consent to limited representation.
Somewhere you can add a partner.
Oh yeah, let's say you have a co-lister here. Maybe Melinda is my co-lister. Melinda, I'm going to add your girl here. That was a $1.4 million house. Boom, I can add my partner right here. If there was a transaction coordinator.
Show her how to share the transaction with your partner.
Sure, boss. I would do that right now. I'm going to share it with you, Melinda. It's very easy. I would just click. Let me go back. Did I do this too fast? I would just click on share transaction. And then I can update the access. And I can give you full access. And now that transaction was shared with you.
And now both of those agents have full access to this file.
Yes, and Melinda can upload documents as well.
Perfect.
Excellent. But as you see, guys, I added all those needed fields here, and the document and the contacts tab went gray. If there's a vendor, you could add the vendor as well. Maybe there's $500 that goes to Old Republic home warranty. You could add it right here. All right, so now let's go to dates and info. There's 4 more questions. Those are important. When was the contract executed? I'll put today's date. How long is the inspection period? We're gonna do 10 days. Okay, then when would close of escrow occur? I'm gonna say the 28th of the month. What's the purchase price? It's 1.5, because in this market, that's how it goes right now. And then what type of financing? I'm going to do conventional.
So just real quick, I want to show you guys how to change your list price, because this happens a lot. Sometimes it'll change after an inspection or whatever. You just click on change right here at the bottom. And then the funny thing is I had a couple, we had mishaps pulling back agent numbers this month. And one of the agents had put in a $630 million sale. So it's important that you get your correct. So I had to go in there and change it. And I'm surprised the title company didn't call me out on saying this was not 630 million. But anyways, so if you need to change it, here's a good spot to do it.
Yeah, it's right here. Change, and you could amend it to whatever it has to be. A lot of times that there are changes throughout after the inspection period, credits and all that stuff. All right, cool. So now dates and info is gray. Everything looks great here. And we're going to go under our documents tab. These are the documents needed. I'm going to start uploading them one by one, just like I did. Not one by one, but I'll pull up the whole thing and then I'll place them one by one. But before I get there, I want to show you a couple of different things. For instance, how to seek an exemption. A great example is the BINSR. BINSR is a very important document. It says required, but according to the contract, it's not required. It only pertains when we have a buyer that does their due diligence and either accepts via BINSR, either denies, either asks for repairs. If a buyer doesn't submit a BINSR as outlined in the purchase contract, that means, hey, I'm accepting the property in as is condition. I'm not going to ask you for anything, seller. So click on required now where BINSR is. A window will pop up and you have two options. You could attach the BINSR, but you don't have one. So you will ask for an exemption. And when you ask for exemptions, please explain why. Don't just say not applicable, although for BINSR, I will understand that, but we like to see a little bit more detailed explanation. All right, and we got that exempt. And after that, I'm going to show you one more different thing. By the way, I want to highlight the insurance history claims report. That is not an exemptable item. Reason being is if there's no insurance, the seller can write a letter and sign it, of course, to that fact. And or if the seller cannot obtain the insurance claims report, then the seller could write one and disclose what company seller has insurance with her, have there been any losses and all that good stuff. So that is not an exemptable document. All right, I'm going to show you one other thing as we go, but now let's just start putting those documents in.
Has anybody got any questions so far? You can unmute yourself and ask us
Please.
while she does this. You're doing awesome.
We're doing so good. My gosh, everybody's so smart. Everybody gets it. I mean, it's an awesome system, guys.
I got a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. First question is regarding the MLS. Would you create the MLS if it's a listing first, or would you start the transaction?
You can go either way. However, since it probably takes about 24 hours for the MLS to catch up or back agent to catch up with MLS. So you can start your file by any means and set your property later. We like you to go in order, but if you want to use the MLS, you can just set that as soon as it syncs with our system.
Okay. And then another question. So regarding like sending the documents to our buyers or sellers for signatures, can you guys go over that? We send it from here, correct? From the transaction management?
Right now, we still have to use our transaction desk or zip forms if you paid for it to get our initial document sent. And then we upload the signed documents once we get them back through our e-sign or whatever. However, since back agent is owned by Lone Wolf, we expect that we should be able to get documents within our back agent soon so that you should be able to fill them out and send them through the whole system, all one-stop shop. But for now, let's say you've gotten everything uploaded, but you're missing a signature on the bottom of the spuds. You can go into your file here and send just that spuds to your client to sign and then reattach it. So you don't have to go back out of DocuSign or into eSign and re-upload it and have it signed. You can have it signed from here. So it's more like, this one is more like a forgotten initial or a forgotten signature, and then you can send it through our system. But I do expect between Lone Roof and back agent, since they're all owned, within the next hopefully year, you'll be seeing all of our documents in here as well, which will be really exciting.
Thank you. And then one follow-up question, one last one here. So where does the transaction coordinator, I haven't used one before, where do they fall in as far as, do they take care of all this process if we choose to use them?
Yeah, so we assign them as a TC into our system. And when they go to add a transaction, they can actually select you as who the file is assigned to. And they can basically log in as themselves and then create the file for you, that way. So they can select what agent they're TCing for.
Gotcha.
There's a list of agents in the back agent under documents that are doing TC work for you.
Okay. And then what all are they doing? What all is under their umbrella?
It all depends on how much, you guys, it's negotiable with each TC. Some TCs write contracts, some TCs don't. It just kind of depends on what you want done. And I think the range is anywhere from $350 to $1,000, just depending on what you want them to do.
Yeah, just depending. We really do not want to see the TCs write your contracts. The only way that's okay is if you actually send them notes or dictate what they put in, because it's your name, it's not their name. We don't want to have our TCs liable. And also the TC does not do negotiations. They really are transaction coordinators.
But
So-
you can have them fill out your documents for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can. I'm just saying, especially with an offer, don't just say, "Oh, write an offer." You need to tell them, "Hey, let's write an offer. Here's the name of the buyer. Here's the purchase price. This is the amount of earnest money." And you do all the negotiation. Maybe they can help you schedule the inspection and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. All right. And just really to highlight, guys, documents have to be turned in on time. Agreements where a member of the public has signed. A buyer broker agreement, purchase contract, lease agreement, unrepresented seller agreement. Those are time sensitive documents. We need to see those uploaded immediately according to the Department of Real Estate. We give you guys 3 days to do so. After the 5th day, you're late. After the 10th day, we're all late and we're all subject to very hefty fines. So please upload on time. All right, now I'm quickly going to show you how to upload a different document. I usually use the example of maybe there's a probate order because this is a property that's in probate, presumably. So I've selected the court order and then I'm going to click create document and then I'm going to place it where I believe it belongs. It will be one of those other collaterals and amendments. I'll make it an amendment to the listing agreement just because I'm presuming it is a probate property. The reason why it's important if you're going to place it on the contract side or on the listing side is because in the event there is a contract cancellation and you want to restart your listing, you want to make sure all listing pertaining documents pop up again so you don't have to do them all over. If you do it as a contract amendment, then you have to upload that court order again.
Yep.
And the other way around, right, Stacy? If you upload contract documents as listing contracts, when you restart your listing, then you have all these like contract documents. So I've selected amendment to listing agreement. I'm going to delete that and I'm going to label it to what it is.
This is nice so that, because some agents are just upload the documents that say required. Some agents upload an entire book and that's completely okay. It's completely up to you what you want to upload. However, if you name it, then you'll be able to find your stuff quicker instead of having to go through it. You're totally allowed to upload 5 or 6 addendums in one spot, labeled addendums 1 through 6. That's okay with us too.
And same if we want to see the purchase contract together with all the counters. But if for some reason you uploaded the purchase contract and forgot the counters, you can upload them separate that way. Mm-hmm. Of course, that will go under the contract side of the transaction. And you will label it counters 1 through 9. I mean, that happens sometimes.
Hope not.
Oh, my first residential sale had 9 counter offers. Tell me about it. I mean, that's how I learned real estate the hard way. All right. So now I've uploaded everything, guys. And look, everything's on file. One is submitted as an exemption. Again, once the broker reviews, those will turn green and say approved. If something is denied, it will say denied. It will be in red. And there will be a note. It's not a big deal. We all make mistakes. Sometimes it's something minor. Sometimes it's a matter of just learning. But we will put a note. If for some reason you do not understand the note, please let us know. Mm-hmm. Okay, I will now click on pre-closing mode because it's time to get paid. And this is really now stepping into Stacy's territory, right, girl?
Yeah. So basically, once you get to pre-closing mode, we want to make sure everything's correct. So the system is always going to ask you a question. What is the actual close of escrow date? I can't tell you how important this is. If this date changed, you need to change this because I'll give you a classic example. We'd like to promote our top 10 or our agents over 100. If your original close of escrow was February, let's just say January 31st, but it actually closed in February, we may say, hey, congratulations on your January closing, and then give you nothing for February. So you need to make sure that the dates are correct on when you close. So this is going to ask you when the actual closing is. Now, if you change the date from what you put in originally, it's going to ask you for an addendum. Now, an addendum is not required unless it's required, but with the lender. So if you don't have an addendum, you can request an exemption as well. Once you get that done, your submit button is going to turn gold for money, is what I like to say. So you're going to hit that submit button and you're going to create your request. So when you see the red highlighted area, that's going to be the amount of commission that you are earning, only you. If you represent the seller, it does not include the buyer broker. So it's just going to be your commission. Now, let's say you're smart and you get a buyer broker agreement and you have a retainer and you need to add income at the top. So at the top of your transaction is any place that you would add a bonus, income, or any other kind of income from the top. So your transaction fee will be automatically taken out unless, of course, there's a percentage over a certain, we have 10% over commission to $1,000. I will add that additional payout. At the bottom is any additional payouts that you want to pay. Let's say you want to pay for a home warranty, or you want to give a contribution to the buyer. You simply click on what's on there and put in the amount. In the comments section, you can put a partner split. You can add your TC payout, anything on here that you'd like.
You could pay a referral.
Let's say you had to pay a referral to ABC Realty for $5,000.
Too much. I'm just gonna give him 1,000.
Make sure that we put ABC Realty. It can't be Joe Smith. Has to go to the brokerage. Can't be paid directly to the agent. The comments, anything that you want to do with your check. If you want to pick it up from escrow, if you want to have it delivered to your house, if you want it wired, you're going to put the comments here. This tells me what you want to do with your check, and I will relay it to title. Once you're done with the notes and comments, you're going to make sure you select table funding. It specifically says get paid at closing via check or wire. If you do standard funding, then the check is going to come to Deluxe and we have to cut pay or cut the check. And then you guys will probably wait 3 or 4 days to get paid, because Lisa picks up checks Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and dropped off checks on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So just be aware, and those will be dropped off at the Glendale office. So make sure that you are on top of your money, where you want it to go, or if you're picking it up. Then you're going to create your refunding request. Don't stop. Once you create your funding request, you're not finished. We have to continue. So there's 2 options. Once you hit that, you can either modify in red, like if you made a mistake, or you can continue to the next step. And again, don't stop. You're not finished. So make sure you answer yes to all the questions. At this point, they're just making sure all your documents are signed and everything's done in order and you've turned it in on time. Once you're done there, then you hit submit. This is important that you hit it. Your file needs to say in review in green, like it is now, in order for me to get a task in order to send it out. So once it's in review, you can see the tasks on the upper left-hand corner where Slava and I get tasks, and then I would go in and I would review your file. You can see it's there now. I would review the transaction. I would approve all your documents, and then I would send out the commission instructions to you and to title at the same time. So they'll always go out together. Now you can always see when I send things out by notes and history. Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
Because
Getting carried away here.
that ever happened to this file from start to finish is in your notes and history. Anything. So the date you started it, all the way to the day that she submitted it. And then once I send it out, it'll show a timestamp of when I sent it. So everything's tracked completely.
Everything's tracked by the minute. And you will see when Stacy sends your funding request right here on top.
Now, if you need to add us a note, you can add a note in the system here at the end, and you can say, hey, whatever you need to know, you can put in the note. And then you can just add a note to the system. And the notes will always stay in the system too.
Now, I've noticed sometimes agents will turn in a document, but they'll save it as incomplete. When you do that, because let's say you notice there's a missing signature and you save it as incomplete to send to your client for signature, we won't see it. So later, if you upload it before close of escrow and that contract shows late on our end, it's late because the broker never had an opportunity to review it. Another thing I want to highlight, Stacy said it multiple times, be on top of your money. It's your money. You're the business owner and you have to be on top of your commissions. We will not go in and verify the amounts. We're not going to go in your listing agreement, make sure you've put in the correct commission. We're not going to go and re-review the commission discount form because you're giving some money to the buyer or the seller. And we're not going to do that for you. We rely on you guys. We rely that you put in the correct commission, the correct credit to your client, and all that good stuff. The only one thing we verify is the fee you owe to Deluxe Realty.
Let's show them how to cancel a contract.
All right. So unfortunately, this contract just canceled. So in order for us to cancel at this stage, so once this goes in review, there's nothing you can do. You have to contact me or Stacy or Ginger so we can kick the file back to you. So I'm gonna kick it back now. Send back, boom. And once we do that, you'll be back at the stage where you could do anything with this transaction. If you do not see, usually the cancel transaction button is right here. If you do not see it, click on the summary tab. It's what it is. It's a summary of your transaction. It's got everything here. Look under the submit button and you will see where it says cancel transaction. Now, there will be 3 steps and you have to read and select accordingly. Of course, every transaction is different. In this particular instance, we have an executed contract that needs to be terminated, but the listing continues to live because the home is back on the market. So our goal right now is to set this transaction in termination and restart the listing part because we have a backup offer to turn in.
Yep.
So right now the selection would be, yes, I have an executed contract to terminate. And then you have these 2 options. You terminate the listing agreement or no, just cancel. You will just cancel because your listing agreement continues to live. And then you have the final step, yes, restart, and it will explain it right underneath. If you're still working with your client, choose this option. Yes, you're still working with your seller. So you select that, and then the blue button that says begin termination. And once we do that, your file is not in termination. You have to answer these questions here. When was your contract terminated? And are you receiving compensation? If you select yes, that happens. You will have to process a funding request. If you select no, then of course that won't be needed. Then you go under the documents tab. Let's say your transaction canceled and you fail to upload the wire scam alert. You could just seek exemption for that. So if you don't have the SPUDs, if you don't have the wire scam, you could seek exemptions for those documents. Every time explain why. Or if there's earnest money, no exemption. That's a mandatory document. Notice of buyer termination, you have to upload that. It could be anything, could be for appraisal issues, could be for loan denial issues, could be for BINSR issues. Whatever the notice of buyer termination of contract is, you have to upload here. And then, of course, the release of earnest money, also a required document. There's really no way around this one unless there was never earnest money deposited. So the release of earnest money will come from the title company. It will be usually in the form of a PDF, a letter that says the funds were released to the buyer or the funds were, forfeited and then released to the seller. Depends on the circumstance. Sometimes could be just an email as well, but most of the time is a letter.
So, and once those 2 items are done and your documents tab is now gray, the submit button will turn yellow again. Then you go ahead and do the same thing, answer yes to the questions, hit submit. You won't have to fill out a funding request at that point. But now you have 2 files. You have one that says termination and one that says start. So obviously the terminated one is the terminated one, and the start one is the one that has all your documents in from your listing, and they should already all be in there and all approved. So now you're ready to start the new contract.
See, everything is here, including that probate court order, every listing document. So there's no need to do anything. Just move it to contract mode when the new contract comes, answer those, questions here, and then upload what's needed.
You guys have any questions? I mean, that's pretty much back agent in a half an hour or less.
Oh my gosh, we did it so quick. That's awesome.
But anytime you guys have questions, you can reach out to Slava or myself. We're always here for you. If you have tried a test file, you can just go in and just hit cancel 3 times on this and hit cancel. It'll go into your canceled as
I'll show you again. If it's just one of those tests, then make sure you label it as test too.
somewhere.
But you would just do no, just need to cancel, no, just need to cancel, no, just need to cancel. Now, if you had to terminate the listing agreement, you can do that, but then the system will set it in termination and will ask you, hey, upload that listing termination document.
Yep. Any questions?
All right.
All right. Well, we sure appreciate you guys coming out today. Jamie, you want to say anything else? Nope, you got to unmute, honey.
Thanks. I do want to say a little something. So I know in the beginning, we talked about our trusted professionals, and we have Justin Frederick from Fairway on, and I just want to give him an opportunity to say hello and meet all of you guys.
And I
Yay.
will stop sharing my screen.
It's okay.
Hello, it's actually Amy.
Oh, it's Amy. Hey, Amy.
I'm trying to. There you go.
Yes.
Hi.
I'm so excited to see you.
Good to see you guys too. Thank you so much for having us. I love what I've learned, how easy uploading your documents are. That's really handy.
Oh, thank you.
New agent with Deluxe, or you are a seasoned agent, we are here at the Frederick team to help assist whatever you guys need, even if it's second opinions. If you are working with another lender and you have a lender that you prefer, and you just have a question, if you need help in any regards to writing a contract or anything lending wise, we are here to support you. From a marketing side, if you guys need help with any of your social media content, any open houses, with your CRM, if you need help following up on leads, I'm here to support you guys as agents too. We're very thankful to partner with you guys and be one of our trusted partners. We are here to help you succeed and get your deals closed in a very time efficient, smooth way. So I'll drop our contact information in the box. We are available literally 24/7. I mean, we would like to sleep a couple hours at night, but if you call us on a weekend, we are going to pick up our phone, and I can guarantee that, like, every single time. And if for some reason we're on the other line, you'll get a call right back. So I'm very proud of our team. We do have a bilingual person. We have a reverse mortgage specialist. We have a really great, well-oiled team. So give us a shot. If you need anything, just reach out to us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Amy.
Oh,
We're so
thank
happy
you,
to have the
guys.
Fairway team, and thanks for popping in. I know we had some link issues, so I'm so glad you were able to make it. Stacy, Slava, thanks so much for an amazing tutorial. It was awesome. Back agent. Reach out to the brokers if you have questions about any of this. This will be uploaded online probably this week. Towards the end of this week, we'll edit it a little bit and get it up there on YouTube. So reach out to any of the leadership team. We're happy to have you guys on board, and thanks so much.